Okay, welcome everybody to the Referral Challenge Q&A Mastermind call for Friday, December 8th, day after Pearl Harbor Day. The updates here's a relatively big update. Camille and I have been talking a lot about this, and these calls are so good, and we get so much good content out of them. What I'd love to see is a broader variety of folks showing up. It's awesome that we got this core group that continues to show up, and that's fantastic, and I'm so pleased with that. But I hopefully would like to get more folks from the group to show up. And one of the things I want to do every time we start the call is just do a little bit of review on referrals, referral marketing, on referral challenge tenets and principles and things like that. It won't be extensive, but I'm going to pick every week. I'm going to pick one specific topic and just do a quick review on it. So it won't be comprehensive. It'll just be one topic, quick review, and then we'll go into that and talk a little bit about it, just to make sure that folks are actually implementing the components of the referral challenge, or if you have questions that are holding you back from implementing, then we can address those. So we're going to be doing that every week going forward. Again, it won't be too extensive. We'll continue to cover a broad range of topics because I know everybody enjoys that, as do I, and we all get a lot out of it. But I also want to make sure that we're covering what we're supposed to be covering, which is referral marketing. And so I want to get back to the basics a little bit on that. And on that note, just a quick review, if you'll bear with me, about one thing that was brought to mind the other day because I was visiting a doctor and I saw just this incredible, I should have taken a picture of it, but on this doctor's wall, all sorts of diplomas, certifications, articles where this doctor had been published, different things that just demonstrated the quality of this doctor and positioned him at really a supreme level. And it was an excellent demonstration. He also had some testimonial things up there. People like pictures with him, with the patient saying, "Hey, this guy sort of changed my life," kind of thing. Very different from what I've seen in any other doctor's office, and I was just very impressed with it. And it reminded me of the importance of signage, and we have the entire signage component in the referral challenge. I want to encourage everybody to go back and review, and if you haven't implemented, really get serious about that because that's the best way to pre-frame and pre-sell your services, and also to continue ongoing sales process with your existing clients, just to reinforce with them that you are different and better than the competition out there. But most importantly, the pre-framing and pre-selling of prospects, particularly when it comes to bumping up your price points, which all of you should be considering on an annual basis, is raising your rates. And one of the best ways to justify that is to continue to prove that you are different and better, the cream of the crop, and signage does a great job of that. There's a lot of other ways too, but signage is important. So just a quick little topic on that. And anybody got any questions or issues regarding signage, how to do the Wall of Fame, how to do Wall of Honor, how to put up, things, just any signage related stuff, anything that you're running into problems or questions on that topic? Anybody? Nope, all good. Okay, it's pretty straightforward, so that's good. I'm glad to hear it. So now what we're going to do, I was talking to Joe Green before everybody got on the call. I'm going to have him share a story that he just shared a few minutes ago before I started the recording because it's really a good story. So Joe sent me over a video. I had just asked him what the video is about. We're going to post the video in the Referral Challenge group so you can see it. But Joe, go ahead and tell everybody what's going on and what that video is about.
Yeah, essentially, well, I've been with Erik for a long time and paid attention to a lot of this stuff. And one of the big things that we're big on, we are a referral-based business. And the other component that's important is joint venture relationships. And so what we did here is we actually established a relationship with a local fitness retailer. And what they do is they sell equipment. And they even go a step further. They actually allow trainers to come in and hold classes there, do events, anything to give their place and space exposure. They've even gone to the extent of giving me business cards and allowing me to put a sticker on there that has my name but in turn gives any client or anyone I refer 15% off of their purchase. What I didn't mention to Erik is they sweeten the deal in that every time someone makes a purchase, I also get a check later on for 3% of the total value of the purchase,
Nice.
which is great. So what happened was I, of course, became active with that. My clients love the fact that I have an in and I have a quality place to send them. This guy, took an important step, got to know me well. We know a little bit about each other. And the key here is that because of the relationship, when I refer people, I can say, listen, go over there. I want you to see Rob. When you see Rob, Rob's going to know the type of, piece of equipment that I want you to take a look at. And he'll also be giving you a price break. He usually, whether it's, a little or a lot, wriggles the numbers a little bit more, helps the people out. So anyway, at the end of the day, what happened was the relationship finally grew into the point of, Rob said, I'll tell you what I'd like to do is I'd like to make you trainer of the month. Here we have that type of thing. And what we'll do is we'll take the reins. You just send us a few pictures and we'll create a video. And they did. And they created a video of me as the leisure fitness trainer of the month. And what they did was they posted it on their page when they did it. They gave it to me. I posted it on mine and put that out there. And it's just a great tool. It's a great piece. It's something I can use over and over again. And it really just, helped that relationship go the extra step, and everybody loves it.
That's great. It's a great story, and definitely want to watch the video myself and then get it posted in the referral challenge so folks can see it. That's very cool. How did maybe you mentioned this and I just missed it, but how did the relationship begin? Who approached who?
Yeah, the relationship began in that I had a relationship with another local fitness retailer that kind of just went sour. Well, I shouldn't say sour, but it just kind of went dormant. So I was looking for another place, and when I order any piece of equipment or anything like that, I'm looking for a local retailer if we have one. So I approached them by going into their store. I happened to see them in a local plaza. And I went in and I talked to the guy and I introduced myself. I told him what I do, what we do, and literally asked him, do you have any relationship with any personal trainers? And he said, we do that, but we don't actively have any. And I said, well, now you do. So we took it from there. And because of what I've learned from you, Erik, as far as ideas and just the verbiage of how to approach, it went wonderful, and it went great. This guy is actually probably just a franchisee owner, but he was receptive to it, and it went great. And like I said, from time to time, if we need to buy something from there, whether it's weights or kettlebells or whatever, of course we go to him. And the sweet part is, again, even if I buy something, I get a 3% rebate even on what I'm buying. So they've really made it a great deal, just for us saying, listen, we're going to refer to you exclusively. And, we didn't mind telling him, listen, we have, clients that will make the kind of purchase that you would be interested in, coming into your store.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And good on you for taking the initiative and going and setting that thing. And that's what it takes. We all just have to take the initiative and get out there and make the connection. And it's awesome when you meet someone who gets it. And clearly this guy gets it. And so that's fantastic. I will mention, Joe, you probably remember, and some of you, Chris, probably remembers too, Hut Allred. Yeah. And Hut down in Texas, just outside of, or in Dallas, has and still has a very significant fitness business that is 100% based on a strategic alliance with fitness equipment retail, a very prominent fitness equipment retail chain. They have multiple locations, and all the leads that they give him leads. People come in, they buy a treadmill from these guys, and that lead goes to Hut. Hut sends out and because part of the offer is, hey, you buy a treadmill from us and you get a 30-minute indoctrination or a consultation with a personal trainer to teach you how to use your treadmill correctly, give you some programming, blah, blah, blah. It's a very nice sort of bonus that the retailer can provide. And so Hut's guys go out there and do the consultation, educate them a little bit, and then make them an offer for some in-home personal training. And Hut's built a $500,000 a year business on that. Just that one lead source alone, which is, a little bit risky, but he's got a very strong relationship with these folks, and he's been doing it now for over a decade. So there's a lot of opportunity in those types of relationships. And, they can go a long way. So that's outstanding, Joe. Just a great story. Anybody got any questions for Joe on that? All right, good enough. So Joe, while we're talking with you, go ahead and give us an update though on other things, how other things are going in the business, and any questions or issues you've got that we can help you with.
Yeah, right now we are cutting our teeth, so to speak, on setting up a really good relationship with what we know will be a steady stream of referrals, in that we have set something up with a physical therapist. And in doing that, we have, explored the idea of the relationship of, how we would, streamline referrals and just keep it active. Because in the past, I've seen where we've gotten the relationship, but then the referrals, don't really seem to come like they should. So the difference, what we did here was we found a physical therapist who is not a chain. It's his business. He's built it up on his own. And it's great. It's everything that you've talked about. So it's perfect. So when we sat down, we arranged a meeting with each other. And really the idea was, we got together based on, how can we help each other? Because we're complementary to each other. We just have to explore that. And, we've just now begun a relationship where, we're creating a system, and it's based on, which is what we do. When people are done with their therapy, so that we can take care of them. And we're reciprocating in that he has an email base of about 8,000 people, and he does lunch and learns on a regular basis. And he's agreed to book me to do the speaking for those lunch and learns, mixed in with other people, but to come in and do those on a regular basis. And so we've also shown that, we get people on a regular basis who basically have, incomplete therapies, and when and wherever possible, we'll refer people over. It got better because it just so happens he's doing something called laser therapy, which is really big. And there are a lot of people that could benefit from that. And so I think what's really going to make it work is we're going to definitely be able to send people his way for sure, and he can send them our way. And I think that's just going to continue to grow, and it's already helping. I mean, we just had 5 or 6 people this month alone, which for us, if we get 8 because we do one-on-one, that's big, but we're already feeling it.
That's beautiful. Congratulations, man. That's fantastic. So you've got that's a great relationship with the physical therapist. Chris has a great relationship with the physical therapist. Mike has a relationship with the physical therapist. I know you've got the old guy, Mike, that was so-so, but now you get the new guy, I guess, that's better. Physical therapist sounds like a real good strategic alliance partner to have. So good deal. Good deal. Awesome. Are you running into any problems with that, or is it all smooth sailing so far?
So far, it's going really well, and I have to, give him credit. His mindset is again, he's like the fitness retailer. He's looking that direction to begin with. He's about email campaigns. He's about staying in front of people. He's interested in continuing to grow it, and he's open to other ideas. So you can't beat that. You don't get many of those people, but that's him.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You get more these days than you did like even 10 years ago, though. I think the trend is positive. People are becoming better educated because it's becoming so much more competitive out in the market. And if you don't get educated, you wash out too fast. So it's better. It's still not great by any means, but I'd say maybe you're at 20% now. So maybe 1 in 5 have a clue. It used to be maybe more like 1 in 10.
Definitely.
That's great, Joe. Fantastic. Great stories. Glad to hear it, man. Keep on rocking and rolling. let's keep moving then. Keith, let me jump to you and give us an update on how things are going with you and any questions we can help you with.
All right. So yeah, I think I mentioned before, I've mentioned on the Facebook page, I know I'm really trying to gather all my pieces together for the whole SmartStart Get Fit Asheville thing. And I'm kind of putting myself a challenge out there that I'm going to have this thing ready to go January 1 so that we can really kick off the year right and have content ready to go and all that. So that's only a couple weeks away, obviously, but but that's the plan. And I'm saying that on here to also be held accountable to it as that goes along as well, because that's part of the group, right? But a couple of things I've got coming up. I've actually got I've been invited to speak. I think it's the second week in January at it's a place called Integrative Family Medicine of Asheville. I'm doing kind of a lunch and learn over there for all of their members, or this is what they call them, their patients, which they have. I mean, I think they have active like over 1,000 patients now. I'm sure there won't be that many people there, but they just invited me in to talk. To just tell them about a little bit what we do and stuff. So that's kind of cool. And I've also have a meeting with, I don't know if you guys are familiar with New Belgium Brewery. They're out of Colorado, but they opened up their second location here in Asheville. And I've got my foot in the door to go speak to all of their employees about an employee wellness program. Because they're literally like 2 miles up the road from us, as far as them being able to come and work out at my facility, work with a trainer, so kind of thing.
What's the name of the business again, Keith?
It's a New Belgium Brewery.
Oh, a brewery.
Yeah.
Nice.
But they're really focused on corporate wellness. I mean, they actually provide, bike racks for people to ride their bikes to work, and they're building a greenway right through this district that's in a lot of growth right up the road from me. So they're really active in the community. So it could be a really cool, foot in the door kind of thing. But they've invited me to come up there and talk to them, and we in January we will be launching like another 6-week weight loss competition. I'll probably present that to them and maybe even offer them a corporate discount for those who want to join the 6 weeks. So
yeah, I think that's beautiful. And also keep in mind that I would obviously definitely want to monetize, and that's smart, so that you lead with that. But your fallback can also be your SmartStart group, so that
yes,
hey, put
absolutely.
folks in our group, it's free. Yeah.
Well, that's where I was going with these 2 talks. Of course, that's another reason why I want to try to get that up and running by January 1. So when I go to these talks, I can get everybody the information on that. Say, hey, if nothing else, join our group. It's free, that kind of stuff. I've also been slowly but surely putting together kind of an Excel spreadsheet of all my different partnerships and stuff that I've created over the years with chiropractors, physical therapists, and so forth, so that when everything's up and running, I'll be contacting all of them about the SmartStart group as well, whether it's email or phone or whatever, and just say, hey, here's a resource, would you mind sharing it? And all the stuff you guys go through in the marketing part of that concept. So my plan is to really, really try to really kick this thing off and just put as much of my focus on it as I possibly can. Because I think I think it could be a huge thing for business growth in 2018. I'm a big believer in it. I'll put it that way. So
I'm glad to hear it. I am too. And I think the strategy is as solid as it gets. It's a great way to differentiate yourself. It's a great way to not rely on just the Facebook ads, which are, becoming very competitive and shrill. But with that said, one of the things we're going to look at is using Facebook advertising to drive people into the group. But with an offer that's free and very compelling, I think we'll get a much greater take rate than you normally would. So your lead cost should be substantially smaller and your conversion percentage substantially higher. That's one of the things. But let me back up because I'm curious. Talk to us, Keith, about how you got the speaking gig with the Integrated Family Medicine and how the brewery relationship came about.
So the first one, the Integrated Family Medicine one, when they first opened up about 2 years ago, I immediately went down because they're just right up the road as well. They're kind of more of a naturopathic type of doctor. Like they're going to work outside the network. They're not taking insurance and that kind of stuff. But, they're going to, in my opinion, they're just going to take a much healthier approach and try to, find, remedies that maybe are not drug related, if at all possible. Anyway, when I heard that they had opened, I just went in there and introduced myself, and I've just kind of tried to keep an ongoing relationship with them. They've changed office managers, changed doctors here and there, so it's kind of been a rocky road. But then just recently, their newest office manager reached back out to me and said, I see we've had a relationship with you, coming up in January, would you want to maybe, they were starting this new lunch and learn series essentially. And so they reached out to me and said, would you like to be a part of that? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So she was even like, well, when do you want to do it? I was like, January, that'd be awesome, because perfect time for me to be in there. And then with the brewery, we actually one of their employees is a member of ours, and I was working with him the other day, and I just asked him, I said, who do I need to talk to make sure that everybody where you work is aware that we're here? And he just put me in touch with the right person. He basically just emailed the two of us and said, hey, I want you to talk to this guy. So they have basically she's their corporate wellness person, whatever that title is. And so we just started chatting back and forth and again, just set up the date. And, she was more than happy to have me come in and let them all know who we are and what we do. And again, we're just right up the road from them. So there's a bike lane that literally connects us to the brewery. So many people get on their bikes and ride it to the gym if they want, but maybe not in January, but
that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's
perfect.
It's,
I don't know how many employees they have. I got to imagine it's in the hundreds. It's a big place. So.
Wow.
And they drink lots of beer, so they probably help.
right. That's fantastic. And it's almost, it's so frequently do you hear when I ask people about these stories of how the relationship, how they got a specific gig, it's largely through some sort of existing relationship. It could be a couple degrees of separation, but it's largely leveraging relationships to get these types of things. There's a lot of cold stuff you can do to bring in partners, but it's the a conversion rate on something like that is so much smaller than leveraging a relationship. And so good on you for doing that. It's very smart. Also for making taking the initiative with the integrated family medicine, program. And I think that's so smart, it occurred to me when you said they take a more holistic approach, a more, natural approach to healing, to medicine. It makes a lot of sense for fitness businesses to align with that type of medical facility, because they're, it seems to me, going to be much more inclined to refer to say, hey, yeah, exercise is a better remedy than this pill.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I did my research on them too. Their demographic is the same age group as mine. So it's just a perfect, as far as, we work with people in their 40s and 50s. That's the large part of their demographic as well. So again, it just makes sense. And I figured that'd be a lot easier to get your foot in the door in a place like that than in a big doctor's office where they don't care. I mean, they just don't, unfortunately. So,
because
it's just so much harder to, like Joe was talking about, working with a physical therapist that's kind of his own place is very different than working with some big franchise physical therapy company that just isn't going to care. So, and then I'm also, I mentioned on the Facebook about this woman a member approaching me about possibly helping me with my administrative stuff. We're supposed to meet next week and kind of start talking about, I appreciate all the feedback I got from that as far as bartering versus, me paying her and her paying us versus, at the very least, I imagine we probably want to at least have a contract in place that just explains this is what's expected from you and this is what you're getting from us. So there's no questions down the road, whether there's money changing hands or not. We'll just see where that goes. But again, my hope is that's going to lead to more free time on my end to do more of the making these kind of connections, like even, just to take Joe's example, going out to physical therapists and just saying, hey, I'm your guy. Let's, what can we do going forward? And, because as I mentioned on last week's call, that's what I'm good at. So that's what I need to be doing more of.
Yeah.
But I'm stuck in the gym all day long, every day. It's kind of hard to get out and do that.
Yeah. I hear you. I think that admin's going to be it'll be a revelation for you. I think, it'll free you up and working to your strengths. As you just said, a great book read years ago, Phil Kaplan recommended it during our mastermind group. We used to do a book review every mastermind meeting. And one of the books that we worked on was Now Discover Your Strengths, which is an outstanding book because so many people try and fix their weaknesses and instead of amplifying their strengths, you got to play to your strengths. And relationship building is clearly one of yours, so that's great.
I appreciate it. So I had one other thing I was going to ask, and this is I just want to throw this idea out there and just, see what people think about it. I've been part of other masterminds or coaching groups before, and they almost always have an element where at least once a year or sometimes multiple times a year, they're, getting together and, for like weekend retreats or whatever. Is that something you and Aaron have ever talked about? I mean, I think it'd be really awesome to get somewhere, and I think Asheville's a perfect place, but either way,
yeah.
You guys ever, I'm just curious if y'all ever even thought about that, just trying to get, because we got such a cool group here. I mean, there's been some amazing people in this group. It just, if I have to, I'll go around the country and just meet them by, face to face, but it'd be cool to get everybody together if we could. So
it would be, and we have discussed it, and it's just a matter of really sort of working it in and making it happen, because I agree with you.
The logistics are a nightmare, but I'm just curious.
Logistics are a big deal, but we've got here in Orlando, it's one of the reasons Pat Rigsby does so much of his stuff down here is because it's such an easy place to get in and out of, and so we might do something here, although I would much prefer Asheville, because Asheville's freaking beautiful. It's just not as easy to get in and out of, and that's
you're right.
Yeah. But we can find or go to the Lake of the Ozarks and hang out with Rick. That would be yeah.
There you go.
So I agree. It's a great idea, and we are looking into it, and I think we need to make it happen, because you're right. There's something very special when you get together, physically together, and have a chance to really not just bond in terms of building the relationship, but really do some in-depth masterminding, that's driven by a little bit of whiskey and things like that. That can always help. So, yeah.
Right. I've always found whenever I've come back from one of these retreats or whatever, for the next several weeks, I'm like way more highly productive than I was the weeks leading up to it, because you just kind of walk away with a lot of enthusiasm and
energy,
kind of a little renewed energy and that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's all I got.
That's good stuff. Thank you. That's good stuff, man. All right, cool. Speaking of Rick, let's jump over to you, Rick, and let us know how things are going with you, and anything we can help you with or that you can help us with. Okay, well, this is actually the first day this week I've been up and about. I've been down with the flu all week and a high fever. So this week has been a complete loss for me as far as production. So I'm going to be doing twice as much next week just to get caught back up. Went out to Vegas last week and, came back from 78-degree weather, walked off the plane. It was 32. And I think I caught the flu instantly. Yeah. Either that or, I've got another philosophy. Like I said, I got back, last night I broke the fever. This morning I woke up feeling good. I came into work and instantly started feeling bad again. So I don't think I was sick, but just sick of being here. I need to travel more. Yeah, you don't travel enough. Well, all that travel, that's one of the scariest things. I mean, just getting in a plane full of people, every time I'm in there, I'm like, I just need to get one of those masks, get a bubble. That's what I feel like doing. Yeah. But aside from that, I mean, the one thing I tried to do this week, I botched terribly. Trying to help Alicia with her product launch, and I sent out to 9,000 Fit Pros the wrong link, sent to her last year's product instead of this year. So lesson learned: when you have a high fever, don't try to be technically it becomes technically challenging. Yeah. So aside from that, seems like the people, I sent you that image the other day that we just need to get going on that. If you got the energy, just to tell folks what it is you sent me and the story behind that. Yeah, in my Nutrition Profit System coaching group, we put together this funnel using that Erik and I have been actually talking about, and I wanted to kind of test it a little bit more, where we're offering a $1.98 30-day trial of ProDiets. After that, it goes to $9.95 a month, where they're going into your community group. Excuse me, guys. And I had one guy who we got the funnel all set up, launched it out to his people.
in 24 hours had 100 people signed up for it in his group, started taking action on the software, and he plans to having 500 in that group by the end of this month. That's 500 people paying him $10 a month for a simple group that he's managing in his community group, like the SmartStart group. So, I mean, it's obviously working when people are taking action and doing it.
Yeah. It's a great story. I mean, he's already generating quickly, basically close to $1,000 a month off this, which covers more 10x's his any overhead from the or expense of ProDiets.
Well, the way it's designed is so ProDiets isn't an expense; it's an investment. If you're paying $1.50 per person you put in, and you're making $10, $20, whatever that number, you're only putting them in when you're making money.
Right.
So it becomes more thinking about it as an investment than an expense. And I think that's where a lot of the fit pros are kind of getting confused. They look at the expense side and forget the payoff side.
Yeah. Just as an aside, I want to just point out what Rick just did right there, which was so very good. And it's natural salesmanship. I used the word when I said I used the word 10x expense. Rick immediately heard that and reframed it, and just so for you guys, the benefit of you guys and me, of course, too. And that's so smart. I think that's how real good salespeople operate. You always want to make those subtle little adjustments to reframe things in the best possible, with the biggest benefit for potential prospects. And all of you guys are potential prospects for his services, his ProDiets. So anyway, Rick, that's cool. I'm glad to hear it. And I know what we've got to do, we've been talking about it now for a while, is just get a webinar together, something where you can explain all this to everybody and the benefits of it. And then we need to talk about how to roll it out into the SmartStart group, which is really pretty simple. But
it really is simple at this point.
Yeah, but there still needs to be some organizational structure that we can discuss. But I've mentioned this before. Alicia did a couple presentations at IDEA earlier this year, and one of her presentations was almost exclusively on how folks are monetizing nutrition and personal training, but predominantly nutrition, in their local Facebook groups. And a couple guys doing $5,000 a month, one guy doing like $20,000 a month, from very small numbers in their groups. So I think 1,000 to 2,500 people, in their groups, they're monetizing significantly, and it's largely from nutrition. So we need to move forward on that, and that's on me. We'll get it going, Rick.
Well, it's been on me too. I've been going too many different directions as well. I first to admit it. Let me get through this cough, get over this cough from this week, and let's just make this webinar happen. I mean, Joe and Chris, they kind of have a little bit of knowledge on how this works, because they've been kind of seeing it a little bit as well. But it's pretty simple. I mean, I even have a ClickFunnels specialist that'll go in and make sure the funnel is set up perfectly for everybody. So, I mean, the whole idea is just, to take action like Joe, the guy who took action, did. And it's especially now, especially this time of the year, people are going to be making their New Year's resolutions. So if we get in front of them, it's easy to get them in the group. Then it's just a matter of delivering that good content in the group every day, I think.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, we will definitely do that. Speaking of ClickFunnels, just heard the other day, sort of, I forget exactly where, but apparently Russell Brunson in 2017 is projecting 95 million from ClickFunnels. 95 million. That puts him at a level that has never before been reached by any other marketing guru, information marketer, software provider in the marketing side services that I'm aware of. It's like it's a whole nother level. The closest guy I can think of, closest people I can think of would be Digital Marketer or what's his name?
Frank Kern.
Who? Well, Frank on his own, I don't think Frank's there, but with Digital Marketer, they might be approaching 50 million. I was going to say maybe 50 million, but now Russell's at 95, which is twice that. It's mind-boggling level of production, and it goes to show what he's just an amazing marketer, but he's also built, and this is the real secret, he's built something that not only kicks ass, the software kicks ass, but it has a huge pain of disconnect. Once you get in it, you don't want to leave it.
Another really important point about that I don't know how many people realize this, but it is a perfect example of taking imperfect action. When Russell launched ClickFunnels, it wasn't even close to ready to go.
I know. I was one of the first buyers. Yeah.
You and I both were, I think.
Yeah.
And there were all kinds of problems, but they fixed them. He just knew that it was something he wanted to get out there. He wanted to test the waters with it, and he put it out there even though he knew it wasn't a finished product. And look where it's come now. You know, too many fitness professionals especially, we get all caught up in everything has to be a perfect. The stars have to align right, and then nothing ever happens. Yeah. And there's a perfect example, 95 million. And it wasn't even ready to launch when he launched it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I mean, what 8 times 12 is 96. He means he's doing roughly 8 million a month, which is more than NPE, which at the time when I owned it was the largest company in the fitness business building space. We were doing 5 million a year. He's doing 8 million a month.
Yeah, it's unimaginable to almost, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. All right. Well, look, Rick, get well soon, man. Take good care of yourself, and you and I will definitely talk, and we'll get this thing going with the ProDiets, with nutrition and SmartStart.
Sounds good.
All right. Mike Fernandez, let me jump down to you and let us know how things are going with you and anything we can help you with.
Things are going pretty good. I had a good meeting last night with the director of a travel baseball program and a physical therapist that I kind of worked the deal together in terms of adding more value to the program. So I told you I've been working with a new physical therapist, and the meeting went really well. We're working actually on, I already got two of the teams. So he's got 165 guys. We've got 2 of the teams going to start even before our expansion. We're going to have a couple slots beyond our normal hours. Usually we close at 8. We're going to run from 8 to 9, 4 nights a week to accommodate 2 of the teams twice a week each. For now, going in until we get the expansion going, then we're going to try to work. It's going to give me a little bit of time to figure out how I want to work on getting all the teams in, because some of the guys are like 17 years old. It's different what you do with we want more so with semi-private for that age group, as opposed to, you know, the young kids where we're teaching them basic movements and stuff. So gives me a little time to figure that out. It also obviously added to the relationship with a physical therapist. I just brought him pretty much access to 165 athletes plus their parents, which was cool because I already got a call today of somebody that they sent over here for me to take a look at and work with. So my admin already scheduled an eval for them, which is great.
The physical therapist sent to you?
Sent somebody over today, yeah, already. So it already worked out well. So we've been talking about kind of partnering together and putting on some stuff. They're actually expanding as well inside of their at a new facility. So we're going to do some live presentations for all the first one's going to be here as soon as we expand for the entire organization and the parents, which is where it's usually where I get the majority of our signups anyway, is when I speak. So that's going to happen here. And then I'm also working to kind of get him squared away where he's going to do a presentation too at his office. They're going to have a decent sized facility as well. And then I'll present at that one too. So we're going to have that united front in terms of, you know, providing the whole thing in terms of the organization. They got all the coaching. One of the top coaches in the organization is actually vice president of the New York Mets. So from having the coaches to be able to send them to the therapist, to have them send to us for training, and working on getting that too. I got the president of the teams on board with making it a year-round program, the importance of having kids train in terms of not training for 3 months and then take, 9 months off and then expect to be right where they were. So I think we're going to work out something really good with this. I'm just waiting for that expansion to happen. So that was a really good meeting. Ran a little late, so I ended up missing the meeting with Rick last night, but I wanted to be on that call. So that's good. in terms of that, I'm happy about that. We just got the estimate back in terms of getting all the lights switched out through Mass Save here. We've got, so in the expansion, the owner of the building is actually going to take the wall down, put the wall back up and everything, but it's looking like I'm not going to also be able to. I got a really good deal, like I talked about before. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him to actually pay for the lights as well. So I got an estimate back from National Grid via the Mass Save program. They pay 70% of it, so it's only going to cost me about $600 to do all the lights redone. Save me, part of the energy audit, it saved me about $1,000 a year in energy. So over 5 years, about $5,000. So it's a good for me. I think it's a no-brainer, obviously. And then in terms of the product, the product is just, it's done. So Angela's just waiting now for it to get cleared by ClickBank, which is, I think it's like 72-hour process, I think she said to me today. And we have a thing just to test it out, make sure it all works with the dummy code and all that stuff that she has. It's already backlinked to my site, my website. So that's essentially done. It's just I have one more thing to do in terms of the email list, setting the email list up. And then I was going to talk with you and with Rick and everything and kind of come up with a plan on when to let it go. But the way Rick's just talking about Brunson, I'm going to launch it right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, good. That's what you need, is plan it all out and get all your ducks in a row and make sure, because there's no huge, you don't want to rush it initially. I mean, it's nice to, you don't want to spend too much time, but you also you want to plan it. Get your
right
on board, get everything.
Yeah. And to be clear, his product wasn't ready, but his product launch was well thought out.
Yeah.
Oh, Brunson, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
There's a huge difference, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, that was detailed in. So let's be sure you get your emails, your affiliates, your product launch done properly.
Yeah, the marketing is so critical.
Yeah, so I definitely want to talk with you guys, probably going in early next week to get some feedback from you in terms of make sure we're on the same page and see what you guys think I need to do. I definitely want to talk with Fred as well, too. So, and I talk with waiting to hear back from Pat. Actually, I have a call with Pat on Monday, so I'll talk with him probably about it then too at some point during that.
That's great. Yeah, you get Pat behind it too, and you rock things out.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let me back up just for a second because I'm curious. You mentioned earlier that you get a lot of your signups from public speaking, from your speaking engagements. How do you get them? How do you go about getting speaking engagements?
So I work relationships with coaches in the area. So usually it's via either past athletes that we've coached that they've heard about us from. It's from maybe my background. I was a college baseball player as well. My brother played in the Red Sox minor leagues for 7 years. So I've just, through some of the athletes and through all of that, I've established some connections and I reach out. Like I had a parent here ask me if I'd be willing to speak at a banquet of like 500 kids. It wasn't even about training or anything like that. I actually spoke more so about like motivation and about reaching your goals and all that. And I got great feedback out of that where I had coaches reach out. So the way I look at it is if I can establish a relationship with one coach, especially a coach who's like a president of an organization like that, it always adds value if you bring in an expert to speak about sports performance and the importance of training and training the proper way. So when I do that and talk about all I want to do is add value to your program. So let me know how I can help and I'm willing to speak. They'll be like, oh, that'd be great. That seems the way it works all the time. So they bring me in and they add their entire organization, like a situation like this. So you get 165 kids, their parents. And then I put on a PowerPoint presentation where I talk about, really it's a way of us to kind of almost like soft sell them on us. By the end of the presentation, they're like pretty much lining up to come and sign up to get their kid evaluated because I show a lot of pictures that show kids that are coming in off the street from training and a lot of the imbalances that you see in them. I talk about the typical training mistakes that happen in a typical high school weight room. And I kind of just, without saying anything specific about anybody, I just kind of talk about what really happens. And when I start talking about really the way the body works in terms of, sports performance, in terms of baseball and training outside of the sagittal plane and all that kind of stuff, it all starts to usually click at home like, oh my God, wait a minute, what have we been doing with our kid? Let's get him checked out. And then I usually offer them like a free a free evaluation that day if they sign up for it with their name and their email. So we get them all on our email list, and then we sign them up. I actually tried this trick a couple times, which actually has worked really well for me. I use the scarcity tactic and say, hey, I knew I was coming here to speak, and because I wanted to be able to do something for you guys, we actually saved 10 spots. We currently have like a waiting list in terms of getting in. And that, man, they flock, because I can only do so many at once anyway. If all 165 of those kids wanted to get evaluated, I wouldn't be able to do them all anyway. So what we say is, you can only get X amount. Usually I say like 10 or 15. That's all we have. But, we'll put you on the waiting list and we'll contact you as soon as spots open up. And then that's kind of how we do it. And it's been a success for us.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder, why you even want to go after Gen Pop. Why do you
it's the only reason, man, I see that is I don't make a huge push for general pop, but our mornings, our metabolic resistance training, you can't be training like youth athletes in the morning. And the other one is having a good solid base of general pop would help with seasonal athlete turnover when kids are going into seasons and that kind of thing. It allows us to have at least a steady base of people, but that's ideally, that's what the majority of our evenings are. I mean, we probably have roughly, it's under 10% of our semi-private. So from 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 8 o'clock, less than 8% of those people probably that come through here are actually adult clients. And if they are, they're usually adults that are training for something specific, like they're still doing like MMA or playing men's league baseball or something like that.
Okay. All right. I got it.
But on mornings, at 5:30 a.m., it's hard to get a high school or a college kid in here to start training at 5:30 a.m. So then the facility just kind of sits here at that point. You know what I mean? And so we started with the MRT, and we got 3 sessions of that run pretty well. It's not the bread and butter, but it also has allowed me to. I have a goal of getting a full-time position for my head coach. To have a head coach, we don't have a full-time position. We're not open. We're not even open 40 hours a week. Because it's so we've done a really good job in terms of the way we work our schedule, in terms of maximizing each slot. So I just see so much more room to grow. And now we want to do the teams at night, but we'll be able to still do the adults in the morning.
Yeah.
Maybe multiple sessions of that.
All right. Yeah. Interesting. And there's just a lot of opportunity there. And I think clearly you see it, but the real opportunity, it seems to me, with you is with the team, on the team side, and just becoming that name, leveraging all those relationships and your own accomplishments and your families, your brother and all that stuff, to raise your rates, become more exclusive. And then if it were me, my goal would be to try and push all that training into whatever it is, noon to 8. That block whenever you're working, and screw the mornings. That way you take the mornings off, or you use that to prepare for your day or whatever.
Well, I do. I'm not here in the morning.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that way you can eliminate not even worry about the Gen Pop, or if you do train Gen Pop, it could just be the parents of the kids, that you're that type of thing.
I think the problem for me without doing Gen Pop is, with that 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock is a really tough times for sports performance, unless you're filling most of your spots with professional and college athletes. Without the professional college athletes, and even with college, it's still like seasonal. You have kids that are here. A lot of our athletes that come from this area, they go away to school. They're playing elsewhere, so they're gone all year, other than like the summer and the winter. Like, we're going to be slammed soon because we got like 10 guys coming back, coming home for the winter break. But
yeah,
no, I've definitely thought about that too.
Yeah, I hear you. It's just interesting. That's all. I just like hearing about this interesting stuff. So, but that's great. That the speaking gig thing, and I would just encourage you to continue to do that, obviously. And also, one of the things I want to mention is record them, Mike, whenever you can. When you're up there speaking, try and get your wife or somebody to come out there and record it for you. So you've got that, because those things are priceless in terms of getting more speaking gigs and also building your name recognition. You put them on your website. Sure. It's that whole thing that I was talking about at the very beginning of this call, the pre-selling and the position,
right.
The pre-framing. That when people see you on stage talking to 500 kids, instant expert, instant. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you. That's good stuff. I'm glad things are rocking. Oh, did you guys pull the trigger and buy the car?
Oh, let's not talk about that. Yeah, we bought the car, but I've been driving around with dealer plates for the past week. We'll see what happens with that. I have a feeling this guy's going to call me and say, "Oh, we're not going to be able to do this deal." In which case, I'm going to tell him he can pick up the car at the bottom of the Taunton River, which is right over here. So I about had it with these meetings. It's tied me up so much in the last 2 weeks that it's driving me nuts. Let's just say that. So we have the car, but it's got dealer plates on it, so who knows what happened. The guy was just calling me as I was speaking. I saw his number pop up on my phone, so be interesting to hear what story they got for me now. But I actually actually, it's funny. Another funny story is talking with the salesman, who was pretty good. I don't know if I told you guys this last week, but I actually got the salesman is actually referring people in here now for us. He was a former athlete, and we're working on giving him a $100 referral bonus for every guy that comes in that we end up signing up. So he's got a bunch of cards. He's come in here for a tour already, and we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I haven't gotten anybody from him yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, beautiful. Those car salesmen come in contact with a lot of folks. So,
yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right, man. Very good. Very good.
Thanks.
All right, Chris, let's jump over to you. Let us know how things are going and anything that we can help you with.
All right. Things are going well. I just got back from a speaking engagement at a hospital, and I pitched the SmartStart Facebook group as my free giveaway to the group as I was finishing up. So that was cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of those folks jump in there. Outside of that, I'm really just trying to manage capacity right now. So that's kind of where we are. So the one question I would have today is that, as we're at this place of capacity, as we bring new members in, it's really pushing us to this place where maybe we're compromising or getting on the verge of compromising the quality of the training sessions for the other people in the room, the existing members, which I don't want to do. So I want to just be, we're proactively thinking ahead to the new year. Maybe 2018 goal for me is some sort of onboarding system for new clients where we can roll them in or fold them into the existing groups without having to compromise. Because what happens in our program is that these new folks, they need so much attention when they're first starting out that it pulls you away from your existing members, which is not okay for them. That's not right for them. We need to take care of them as well, make sure that the quality of their service isn't compromised. And they're pretty understanding to a point, but there is a point when you get, where the grace is gone. So I want to make sure that we do something here different as we move forward now that we're at this place. So love to hear some thoughts on maybe some things maybe you guys are doing to handle that.
Yeah. Anybody got any thoughts on that? What about, just off the top of my head, interesting, I just saw the other day, and it was reminded me how CrossFit does, a lot of CrossFits do this on-ramp process. People don't just buy into some of these places and then immediately start CrossFit classes. They do their on-ramp program, which is like an onboarding to teach you the fundamentals of Olympic lifting and things like that. Could you do something like that when you bring new people in? Could they go into a separate group before they're integrated into the sort of the general population or your other group?
Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking, something like that, but I just don't have a good picture in my mind of what that looks like and how that would all go. So, yeah, but we're kind of thinking along those lines.
I've actually, I've had that same type of issue, and I've thought about those same things, and some of the potential hurdles that what I've kind of thought about were that, unless you're onboarding all these people at the same time, it becomes like you're running a session possibly for maybe one or two people just to teach them. And it does become monetary. Is it worth it? Is it, I don't know. That's kind of where we've come from. Like, yeah, if you do like a presentation, maybe like you did, and you get like 10 people that want to sign up right away, it's easy to do. So you probably just stop their own session, possibly even with that. Right. But, if you get a person that comes off the street and they don't belong in that session, you do a one-on-one with them and charge them the group rate. Or, I don't know. But I know what you're talking about, man, because I have that same thing has been an issue for me too.
Yeah. And I thought about doing, where all new members start the first of every month, and throughout the month, you just, you get them signed up and you hold them. until the first of the month or the second of the month, whenever you can start them all together in a separate group. Bring them up to speed, but then you really don't want people waiting.
Exactly.
Yeah, you definitely don't want them waiting. I don't think either.
You want to get them started when they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tricky, and this is one of the issues you deal with when you're at capacity. And so, let me just show you guys something real quick. I just saw.
Can you ask something real quick, Chris? Yeah. Are you doing group training?
Yes.
Do you ever pair people up in your group training?
Yeah, we do.
And what you could do potentially is pair newcomers with seasoned veterans to kind of shorten their learning curve.
Yeah, we've been trying to do that as well, and we're actually looking at starting the ambassador programs from Fred in the new year. So we've been looking at that as definitely something to buffer what we got going on. But one of the problems too is that the clientele that I work with is they're extremely out of shape. They're really in a place where a lot of them coming in the door and they almost need one-on-one at some level sometimes to get them up and going for a month and then transition into the group. So it's tough.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show you guys this just because it caught my attention. These guys are a local gym here in Winter Park, and they've been doing a lot of ads. There's a news site that I check out on my phone, and in the news site feed, I was getting ads for these guys. So I thought, these are pretty creative or aggressive marketers. Let me click through and take a look. So I looked at it, and one of the things that I really liked is they're doing this early bird special for in gearing up for New Year's. Okay, and so you've got to, it says down here, hurry, this special is only good from November 29th through 12/27. It begins, the actual program begins on the 15th, and they say that down here somewhere. But so what they're doing right now is they're in this extensive campaign to drive people to buy this program that doesn't begin until January 15th. And that's one of the things I was thinking, well, what do they do with these folks who buy, somebody who buys November 29th and they're not going to get to start working out until January 15th? What do you do with them? And so I was looking on their site, and here's their answer. They don't do a good job of explaining it, but they see here, this is their early bird special and early access. So the regular offer is $299. But for another $100, you get this special challenge plus early access, which I assume means, hey, you can come into the gym starting today and start working with us. So interesting approach. And I, nothing specific that I would recommend based on that, but just food for thought, something to think about. The other thing, there's a guy out there, and I'm curious how many of you all know him. It's not Adam. Shit, I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, pretty up and coming or successful sort of fitness marketing guy. He was talking about how they're selling on the front end. Their front end offer is more expensive than their regular training. So he's selling a challenge on the front, which I think is very smart. And it's a 6-week challenge, and it's like, say, $400, $399, somewhere around there. And maybe your regular pricing is, $200, $250 a month. This is a 6-week at $399. It positions you better, and they go as high as $499. It gives you better positioning. You can include a lot in that offer. Plus, you can monetize significantly on the front end. Your front end becomes very profitable as opposed to just sort of a loss or as a break even or better type thing. And you can do campaigns around this. So you start these groups just like you do in a regular challenge. You start them at a specific date and time. So I'm mentioning this, Chris, only because just to throw out additional options, food for thought. I don't know what the answer is, but food for thought.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else got anything for Chris on this? No? All right. Let me end this share. what are you leaning towards, Chris? What are you thinking you're going to do? Have you noodled through some potential solutions?
Yeah, I mean, we've just been back and forth on it so many times. I don't really have any definitive answers yet. So we're still working through it.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you running out of capacity due to space limitations or trainer limitations, or a combination of both?
Yeah, a combination of both. I mean, we definitely have room to grow. We need more trainers to be able to do that. But in the sessions that we have, we're at capacity.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
And when was the last time you raised your rates?
When I moved into this new location about 6 months ago.
Right. All right. Good. So are you considering a rate increase sometime in 2018?
I haven't even thought about it, to be honest.
All right. I'd put that on your calendar, things to seriously consider, especially if you maintain capacity through the first couple of months of January.
Got it.
All right. Then we're just going to keep moving. Erik Peacock, let's jump down to you. Anything, let us know how things are going, Erik, and any questions you have, things we can help you with. Erik?
All right.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Got it.
Trying to unmute myself. I think probably our biggest challenge right now is the, community challenge. We need to get 300 members in our SmartStart. We're trying to get people, I'd welcome it. I know we've been hitting up our partners and we've been putting it in everything we do, but we're sitting at about 75 members. We want to get to 300 so we can really maximize that. And that's kind of the challenge put in front of me. So people that maybe got to that point, that'd be interesting to hear what they did. It's trying to get the partners, marketing people to get that up there, but, there's got to be other ways too, I'm thinking. That's probably our main challenge right now.
Okay. So growing your SmartStart group.
That's probably the biggest thing in front of us. I want to get that up to, yeah.
All right. So you got partners, you got posting that can be boosted. And I'm gonna mute you, Erik, because we're getting some feedback. So one of the things that I don't know if you guys saw it, Greg Crawford put a pretty cool post in the referral challenge earlier today where he made some recommendations about content marketing on Facebook, which is very smart. And I agree with everything that he said. And and I also posted a video of Russell Brunson talking about, somebody asked Russell the question, hey, how do I grow an awesome Facebook following like you have, Russell? And Russell's answer was essentially, okay, thanks, Keith. Russell's answer was basically what Greg said in that post, is that you create good content, you post it, just a regular post, and you see what gets attention. And it might only be a few likes or a share here or there or a few comments, but you compare that to other things that you're posting. So if some post is getting 0 and then another post is getting 5 likes and a share and a couple comments, well, then that's clearly the winner. And then he would promote that, boost that post, and start driving it, getting some money behind it. And that's how you test content and figure out what people like. And so there's that element. So there's the partners, there's the posting, and then boosting the posting. And then there's just straight up advertising, which is something that we need to look at going forward. Again, I'll mention how Alicia grew her group initially to get it to sort of a critical mass point was heavy advertising. I think she was doing $30 a day on that thing. And I'm not recommending that you guys do that much, but you might find that over time you want to do that much because it's generating that much, a significant return for you. But even just starting at $5 a day, running some ads that drive folks to your group. And as I mentioned, I think lead cost will be relatively low because you get a high congruence or score, or whatever that's called. Not congruence, if there's another word for it. And relevancy, thank you. High relevancy score. And you'll also get real good conversions off that because it's a free group. So those 3 elements, Erik, the partners, the posting, and then the actual Facebook ads. And so, yeah, I think Chris, he had to step away, but Chris drove a significant number of folks through his partners. how big I know you've got a good relationship with a chiropractor, Erik. How big a list do they have? Do you know?
They're probably these couple thousand. I just had lunch with them. So yeah, I talk about getting marketing people and getting out there. So yeah, I know they probably have at least 3,000 on their list.
All right. Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. I caught some of that, but anyway, so they can help you with some promotion, but some additional partners. And then the post, need that. The posting content, as I mentioned, and then the paid Facebook ads. We'll do some more stuff in terms of generating some ideas for paid Facebook ads. And one of the things I was talking to Aaron about is just us just creating a bunch of ads that you guys can use. But it's always better when you guys create your own ads. We can provide done-for-you stuff, but like video ads. I mean, Ben Davis did this whole presentation down in Houston on Facebook advertising. He said, hands down, video ads are the way to go. And I know Rick's looking at doing video ads going forward to promote his MPS and other things. I'm going to be doing video ads to start promoting the referral challenge and other programs. I think video ads are the way to go. And we can't create video ads for you. You guys need to do that. And I think the simple way to do it is just, and this is the way, one of the ways that I'm going to be doing it. I like what Rick's going to do. Rick's going to have people interviewed, other influencers in the market. He's going to interview them and then run those ads to promote his MPS. One of the things that I would do is I'm just going to list out all the different problems people have with referral marketing and then different benefits of referral marketing that people might not necessarily understand. And I'm just going to do some very short videos on those topics and post them, see what kind of traction they get. The ones that get decent traction, I'm going to promote them. So that's what I would encourage. And when you have a call to action on the back of those that's as low barrier to entry as it can possibly be, which is free to join our SmartStart group, you're going to get some takers. And I think that's a good way to move it forward. So that's my little rant on that. But Erik, any thoughts?
Erik, also, when I built my community group, I ran about 2 weeks. I ran Facebook ads, about $10 a day, just promoting, free content, free exercise and nutrition advice. But then I also ran a challenge in the group with the people that were currently there, encouraging them to help us get it up to 1,000 members. And basically everybody that participated, I let come in and work out at my facility free for a month.
Nice. Yeah.
Which also was a great way to promote my facility.
Right. Yeah, I love it. I think there's a lot of things that can be done, and it's the challenge is just getting all these, because there's so many options. Is just dialing in on a couple and then actually doing them, because it can be a little time consuming. But Erik, I just want to continue to encourage you to move forward with that. And I lost him. But anyway, we're just going to keep working on it, because it's the SmartStart. That Facebook group is one big answer to the marketing puzzle. There's no doubt about it. I'm not equivocal at all on that. I just believe in it so strongly, and that's what we're going to do. Be launching the Local by Referral Facebook group, which will be a free group, and we're going to be marketing the shit out of that. And basically, it's going to be like Alicia's group, but not specifically for fitness business owners. It's going to be for any local small business owner who wants to learn how to generate more referrals through strategic alliance partnerships. That's the Local by Referral Facebook group. We're going to drive people into that, teach them how to do it, and then it'll become a place where you guys can find partners potentially. There's depending on where you live, and also network with other people and solve problems and learn best practices, and then also, of course, we're going to sell the referral challenge through that group. So that's our monetization process, and of course sell the SmartStart programs, which we're going to promote ProDiets through that and all that. So it all integrates, man. We're all friends and making money, and then we're going to bring Mike in and have him teach everybody how to hire an admin and get them squared away. So that's Erik. I was just doing a little rant after you left, just talking about the value of the SmartStart. And I know it can be a little challenging initially, and we'll continue to try and support you, or we will support you and come up with additional things. But we're going to be doing it ourselves, a Facebook group for Local by Referral. And so as we do that, we'll have more that we can share with you in terms of best practices and things, because we'll be testing a lot of stuff and going hard and fast with this to mimic sort of what Alicia did to build her group.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's the basic stuff too you forget about. There's so much in front of you, and it's like, okay, just a few good ideas just to run with. I think we can get it there. It's just hearing what other people are doing. I know Chris got his thing there with 300 people with the partners, and so just like Facebook ad, yeah, I can do a Facebook ad, and I've got a couple really good images that pull and stuff, and I can do some videos. I got some videos ready to queue up, so yeah, it's
you're good at the videos. You do a ton of video, and you're good at them. So yeah, I think that'd be a great thing. In fact, do you still do your workout tips?
Oh yeah.
You could, at the end of every one of those videos, hey, join our SmartStart group. Here's the link.
And we've tried to do the old sense of urgency where we're going to say we're going to be moving our best content off this into this group if you like our content, now that we have the following on the regular. So I know community told me that, we're shutting this stuff down. We're going to be moving here. So if you like our content, here's where you got to go get it. So we're still doing that. So
yeah, that's great. And another thing, Rick was talking about doing challenges within the group, but there's also, you can entice people to join your group by talking about it, like a challenge. Like for instance, this time of year right now, it's December 8th. People are obviously, their parties are starting up and all that stuff. So it might be a little late to do this. I'm not sure. You guys would know better. But something like along the lines of, hey, let's do a 7-day no alcohol, no sugar challenge. Join our group and we'll support you through this. We'll show you some best practices, blah, blah, blah. Or it could be, let's do a 7-day plank challenge or a 7-day body weight squat challenge. Just something that's neat and fun where you drive people in, you say, hey, we're going to inspire you, blah, blah, blah. We're going to show you how to do this kind of thing. And, those little challenges to help drive people into the group, something that's enticing.
Yeah, we'll get it done. I like having goals like this, it's like, I think it's a great thing. We just got to get more people in it, more interaction. So it's still pretty new.
Yeah. Well, you're a goal achieving machine, so I know you will. I have no doubt about that. That's great. All right. Anything else before we wrap up? Rick, Mike, anything else you guys? You all good? All right. Then, Erik, anything else from you? Are you
good?
Okay. All right, brother. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you being on the call. As always, it's great stuff. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Facebook.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, bye.